some of our nation's biggest school districts are considering the ideal of shutting down in-person classes and returning to remote learning. The Chicago Teachers Union is reportedly asking members if they support a district-wide pause in in-person learning, allowing them to pivot to online. And New York City teachers are pressuring their unions, as well as the mayor, to bring back remote learning, but outgoing Mayor Bill de Blasio doesn't seem willing to budge.
Our schools have been extraordinarily safe. Bluntly, the safest places to be in New York City. Very low levels of COVID. Schools need to be open. Everyone talks about the needs of our kids, their health needs, physical health, mental health, nutrition needs, their social development needs, their academic needs. Schools need to be open.
So listen, every time I hear headlines about teachers unions, I always take the time out to remember that teachers unions are made up of workers and public sector workers and that educators. And I've done some time interviewing educators, and what you see them saying is that we want to be back in our classrooms, but we're also trying to balance that with the safety of ensuring that our students don't get COVID and bring it home to their parents or to grandma. So Dr. Saphier, my question for you is, how do we help both parents and educators bridge this balance of the importance of having in-person learning while also ensuring that these children aren't spreading COVID-19 to their loved ones back at home?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I can tell you one of the biggest failures of our entire response throughout the pandemic is taking children out of school. But the biggest failure is keeping them out of school. The fact that this is even an option at this point is a continued failure of us from a federal level, a state level, and a local level. Under no circumstances should these schools switch to remote learning unless there is a very specific need. And it is about, yes, it is about the teachers getting COVID-19, it is about the children getting sick, it is about them bringing home the virus to those around them. But time after time, we have now been able to prove that there is a low amount of transmission in schools, no more than normal flu and cold season. We need to stop stigmatizing normal seasonal respiratory viruses. RSV and flu are very severe in children. So yes, if you have a low or a high absentee where you have enough children who are out sick, oftentimes they will close down a classroom so that they can sanitize and give children time to recover and get back to the classroom. But they shouldn't preemptively be going to remote learning in anticipation of positive cases coming back from the holidays. There is no reason for that. We have now gone to a place where you have an entire generation of children who have poor performers when it comes to education. They have not had adequate education. They have had poor socialization, and that has been a complete hindrance to their mental and physical development. It is far more dangerous to keep them out of school than bringing them into school, when we know at this point these again continue to be the lowest risk population when it comes to COVID-19. High-risk children and those that live in homes with high-risk individuals have the ability to be vaccinated, have the ability to be boosted, and from there it is time to move forward and let this mild illness in children otherwise circulate so that they can get that immunity and we can continue keeping them in school, because that is what's best for them long term.
Thanks, Dr. Saphier. So, Joey, I guess my question to you is this. I mean, because there is this prevailing balance that I think that Dr. Saphier laid out there, right? So how do you balance educators who want to be with their students when you have government failure when it comes to testing, contact tracing, ensuring that folks have access to the vaccine?
Well, you know, maybe you say get parents to the school board to advocate for their children, but I guess that's a cardinal sin now, too. You'll have the FBI breathing down your back, I guess. The problem now is that we have you opened the segment talking about how school teachers unions are made up of the worker, the person in there with the kids. The members are, but the leaders are not. The leaders are bureaucrats. The leaders are corrupt individuals who now serve to satisfy themselves and the entity. And I don't mean that to attack teachers unions. That's what unions have become in a place where you have communication. It's a lot harder to take advantage of workers, which is what started the idea of a union to begin with. That's one of the problems in this country. What we need to do is be less selfish. What we haven't learned in 2 years is how coronavirus affects children. What we have learned in about a year is how badly being out of school affects children. So if I'm looking at those two things face to face, I'm going to do the unselfish thing, put my kids in a classroom and make sure they have the social and learning opportunities that every American needs to survive in this life. Nothing affects socioeconomically underprivileged kids worse. Nothing bridges that gap wider than this at-home learning, because kids with rich parents and attentive parents won't have the same problems that other kids who need to be in classroom should have the opportunity and attention.
So I mean, what's your take on that, Rachel?
Well, let's start with what Joey was talking about with the unions. Public school teachers don't work for the unions. They work for us, the taxpayers. We pay their salaries, and that's who they work for. It is very clear when you have mental health just skyrocketing, mental health problems among children as young as 4 or 5 years old. You have a 50% increase in suicide attempts among teenage girls. The pandemic is really the epidemic. Is mental health among our kids, and it's all been orchestrated by people with political motives. We have absolutely destroyed their childhoods. We've taken away their extracurriculars. We've crushed sports dreams for so many kids. We've isolated them. We've caused them to lose years of learning. Our special needs kids, by the way, are suffering the most. And by the way, we're torturing them. We're masking them as they go to school. This is outrageous, and it shows that we don't care or prioritize our children as a society. If you look at China, 94 million Chinese have been going to school since the pandemic started. This is a culture that values education and clearly values their future. We are not, and we're allowing political actors, very bad and corrupt political actors, run the lives of our children and ruin them.
So, Tyrus, to Rachel's point there, I mean, how do we sort of compete with the global world when we see that in countries like China, India, and South Korea, their investment in public education and making sure their students have the best education is far outpaces America?
Well, you can never really compare the United States to any other country because we are a country of freedoms and we have choices. They don't have a choice in necessarily in China to homeschool or whatever. But I will say this as a parent and a former educator, homeschooling your own children and teaching your own children is the toughest job in the world because it's just really difficult. And masks in the school really hurt younger children's development because you don't realize how much children develop by mimicking the teachers, watching the teacher phrase words, how they say things, interactions. Those things, those movements that we need, it also has to do with comfort. The kids aren't getting that. So, you know, a lot of things go wrong when you're not in the classroom because you're just not getting in that environment. You're not getting the stuff that you need, and puts a lot of burden on mom and dad who are working 2 jobs trying to play catch up from when they couldn't pay rent and et cetera. So in school, in-home learning is a really bad idea. We need our schools open, and of course the teachers always get the brunt of it, but it's the administrators who need to get their act together.
I agree with that. Administrators do need to get their act together. From my years of journalism, I know that when teachers raise their voices, they're raising it for their students. And don't go anywhere. The Fastest is up next.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.